The boy who was afraid to speak up, the quiet boy. In a small, peaceful village surrounded by green hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a boy named Leo. Leo was kind, thoughtful, and loved to help others. But there was one thing about Leo that everyone noticed. He was very quiet. Leo was afraid to speak up. Whether it was in class, at home, or with his friends, he always stayed silent. He worried that if he said something wrong, people would laugh at him or get angry. So, he kept his thoughts and feelings to himself. One day, Leo's teacher, Mr. Clark, announced a class project. "We're going to work in groups and create a presentation about our favorite animals," he said. "Each group will present their project to the class next week." Leo's heart started to race. He loved animals, especially elephants, but the thought of speaking in front of the class made him feel sick. He was paired with two classmates, Emma and Jake. Emma was confident and full of ideas. "Let's do our project on lions. They're so cool and strong," she said. Jake agreed. "Yeah, lions are awesome. Let's make a poster and talk about how they hunt." Leo wanted to suggest elephants. He knew so much about them. How they lived in families, how they helped each other, and how they never forgot their friends. But when he opened his mouth to speak, no words came out. He just nodded and went along with Emma and Jake's idea. The silent struggle. That night, Leo lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He felt a heavy weight in his chest. He wanted to tell Emma and Jake about elephants, but he couldn't find the courage. "What if they think my idea is silly?" he thought. "What if they laugh at me?" The next day at school, Emma and Jake started working on the lion project. They drew pictures of lions and wrote facts about them. Leo helped quietly, cutting out pictures and coloring, but he didn't say a word. During lunch, Leo sat alone under a big oak tree. He felt lonely and frustrated. He wished he could speak up and share his ideas, but the fear kept him silent. The wise old owl. One evening, as Leo walked home from school, he heard a soft voice calling his name. "Leo, Leo," the voice said. He looked around and saw a large, wise owl sitting on a low branch of a tree. The owl had big, kind eyes and a gentle smile. "Why are you so sad, little one?" the owl asked. Leo was surprised, but felt comforted by the owl's calm voice. "I'm afraid to speak up," he said. "I have ideas, but I'm scared people will laugh at me or get angry." The owl nodded thoughtfully. "Fear is like a shadow, Leo. It seems big and scary, but it has no power unless you let it control you." Leo tilted his head. "What do you mean?" The owl explained. "When you speak your truth, you shine a light on that shadow. The more you speak, the smaller the shadow becomes. Your voice is a gift, Leo. Don't let fear take it away from you." Leo thought about the owl's words. "But what if people don't like what I say?" The owl smiled. "Not everyone will agree with you, and that's okay. What matters is that you share your thoughts with kindness and courage. True friends will respect you for being honest." Leo felt a spark of hope. "Thank you, Mr. Owl. I'll try to be brave." The owl nodded. "Remember, Leo, your voice matters. Use it wisely." Part 4. The first step. The next day at school, Leo decided to take the owl's advice. During the group project, Emma and Jake were discussing how lions roar. Leo took a deep breath and said, "I think elephants are really interesting too. They live in families and help each other. Maybe we could include something about them." Emma and Jake looked surprised, but then smiled. "That's a great idea, Leo. We can add a section about elephants too," Emma said. Jake nodded. "Yeah, elephants are cool. Let's do it." Leo felt a warm glow inside. He had spoken up, and his friends had listened. it wasn't as scary as he thought. To be continued. In the next part, Leo will face bigger challenges and learn more about the power of his voice. Stay tuned for more. New words to learn. 1. Confident. Feeling sure about yourself and your abilities. 2. Courage. The ability to do something even when you're scared. 3. Respect. To treat someone kindly and understand their feelings. 4. Frustrated. Feeling upset because something is difficult. 5. Shadow. A dark shape that appears when something blocks the light. Questions for you. 1. Have you ever been afraid to speak up? How did it feel? 2. What do you think Leo learned from the wise owl? 3. Why is it important to share your ideas with others? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget like and subscribe. Video. The big presentation. The day of the class presentation arrived. Leo, Emma and Jake had worked hard on their project. They had created a colorful poster with pictures of lions and elephants, and they had written interesting facts about both animals. Emma and Jake were excited to present, but Leo felt nervous. He had practiced what he wanted to say, but the thought of standing in front of the class made his stomach twist into knots. Mr. Clark called their group to the front of the room. "All right, Emma, Jake, and Leo, it's your turn," he said with an encouraging smile. Emma started the presentation. "Our project is about lions and elephants. Lions are known as the kings of the jungle because they're strong and brave," she said confidently. Jake continued. "Lions hunt in groups called prides. They work together to catch their food, which shows how teamwork is important." Then it was Leo's turn. He looked at the class and saw all the eyes staring at him. His heart pounded and his hands felt sweaty. He remembered the wise owl's words. "Your voice is a gift. Don't let fear take it away from you." Leo took a deep breath and began to speak. "Elephants are also amazing animals. They live in families called herds, and they take care of each other. If one elephant is hurt, the others will stay with it and help it." His voice was soft at first, but as he kept talking, it grew stronger. "Elephants are very smart, and they never forget their friends. They show us how important it is to be kind and loyal." When Leo finished, the class clapped. Mr. Clark smiled and said, "Great job, Leo. You shared some wonderful facts about elephants." Leo felt a rush of pride. He had spoken up, and it hadn't been as scary as he thought. A new challenge. A few weeks later, Leo faced another situation where he had to speak up. During recess, he saw a group of older kids teasing his friend Sam. They were making fun of Sam's glasses and calling him names. Leo's heart raced. He wanted to help Sam, but he was afraid of what the older kids might do. He remembered the wise owl's words again. "Your voice matters. Use it wisely." Leo took a deep breath and walked over to the group. "Stop it," he said firmly. "It's not nice to make fun of someone." The older kids turned to look at him. One of them laughed. "What are you going to do about it, little guy?" Leo felt scared, but he stood his ground. "I'm going to tell the teacher if you don't stop," he said. The older kids rolled their eyes, but walked away. Sam looked at Leo with gratitude. "Thanks, Leo. You're a good friend." Leo smiled. He felt proud of himself for standing up for Sam. The school election. One day, Mr. Clark announced that the class would hold an election for class president. "The class president will help plan events and represent the class in meetings," he explained. Emma decided to run for class president. She made posters and gave a speech about why she would be a good leader. Leo thought about running too. He had ideas for making the class more fun and inclusive, but he was afraid of giving a speech in front of everyone. That night, Leo visited the wise owl again. "I want to run for class president, but I'm scared," he said. The owl smiled. "Leo, you've already taken so many brave steps. Remember, courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing what's right, even when you're scared." Leo thought about this. He realized that being class president was a chance to make a difference. The next day, Leo told Mr. Clark he wanted to run. He made posters and wrote a speech. On the day of the election, he stood in front of the class and shared his ideas. "If I'm elected class president, I'll make sure everyone feels included. We'll have fun events where everyone can participate, and I'll listen to your ideas," he said. The class clapped, and Leo felt a sense of accomplishment. Even if he didn't win, he was proud of himself for trying. In the next part, Leo will face the results of the election and learn more about the power of his voice. Stay tuned for more. New words to learn. 1. Encouraging, giving someone support or confidence. 2. Inclusive, making sure everyone feels welcome and included. 3. Gratitude, feeling thankful for something someone has done. 4th, accomplishment, something you've achieved successfully. 5. Courage, the ability to do something even when you're scared. Questions for you. 1. Have you ever stood up for a friend? How did it feel? 2. What would you do if you saw someone being teased? 3. Why is it important to share your ideas, even if you're scared? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll share the next part soon. The election results. The day of the election results arrived. Leo's heart was pounding as Mr. Clark stood at the front of the class with a piece of paper in his hand. "Thank you to everyone who ran for class president," Mr. Clark said. Both Emma and Leo did a fantastic job with their speeches and ideas. Now let's see who the class has chosen. Leo held his breath. He glanced at Emma, who gave him a reassuring smile. "The new class president is Leo," Mr. Clark announced. The class erupted into applause. Leo's eyes widened in surprise. He couldn't believe it. He had won. Emma walked over to him and patted him on the back. "Congratulations, Leo. You deserved it," she said. Leo felt a mix of emotions: happiness, pride, and even a little nervousness. He stood up and said, "Thank you, everyone. I promise to do my best to make our class a fun and welcoming place for all of us." The class clapped again, and Leo felt a warm glow inside. He had faced his fear of speaking up, and it had led to something amazing. A new responsibility. As class president, Leo had new responsibilities. He helped plan class events, listened to his classmates' ideas, and made sure everyone felt included. One day, a group of students came to him with a problem. "Leo, we feel like recess is too short. We don't have enough time to play," they said. Leo listened carefully. "That's a good point. Let's talk to Mr. Clark about it," he suggested. Together, Leo and the students approached Mr. Clark. "Mr. Clark, some of us feel like recess is too short. Is there any way we could have a little more time to play?" Leo asked. Mr. Clark smiled. "I'm glad you brought this up, Leo. Let's see if we can adjust the schedule to give you a few more minutes of recess." The students cheered, and Leo felt proud. He had used his voice to make a positive change. The confident Leo. Over time, Leo became more confident. He still felt nervous sometimes, but he had learned that his voice mattered. He knew that speaking up wasn't just about sharing his own ideas. It was about helping others and making the world a better place. One evening, Leo visited the wise owl again. "Thank you for helping me find my voice," he said. The owl smiled. "You did the hard work, Leo. Remember, courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes." Leo nodded. "I'll keep using my voice to help others and stand up for what's right." The owl's eyes twinkled. "That's the spirit, Leo. Your voice is a gift. Use it wisely." The legacy of Leo. By the end of the school year, Leo had become a role model for his classmates. He had organized fun events, solved problems, and made sure everyone felt included. On the last day of school, Mr. Clark gave a special speech. "This year, we've seen someone grow from being a quiet boy to a confident leader. Leo, you've shown us the power of courage and kindness. Thank you for being an inspiration to all of us." The class gave Leo a standing ovation. He felt tears of happiness in his eyes. He had come a long way from the boy who was afraid to speak up. Moral of the story: your voice matters. Don't let fear silence you. Speaking up with kindness and courage can help you make a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. New words to learn. 1. Reassuring. Making someone feel less worried or scared. 2. Responsibility. Something you are expected to do or take care of. 3. Confident. Feeling sure about yourself and your abilities. 4th. Inspiration. Someone or something that makes you want to do better. 5. Legacy. Something you leave behind that people remember you for. Questions for you. 1. Have you ever taken on a leadership role? How did it feel? 2. What would you do if you saw a problem in your school or community? 3. Why is it important to use your voice to help others? A new school year. The summer break flew by, and soon it was time for a new school year. Leo was now in a higher grade, and he felt excited but also a little nervous. He wondered if he would still feel confident speaking up in a new class with new students. On the first day of school, Leo walked into his new classroom. He saw some familiar faces, like Emma and Jake, but there were also many new students. The teacher, Mrs. Patel, welcomed everyone with a warm smile. "Welcome to our class. This year, we'll be working on many exciting projects and activities. I want everyone to feel comfortable sharing their ideas and working together," she said. Leo felt a little reassured. He remembered how far he had come and promised himself he would keep using his voice. The group project. A few weeks into the school year, Mrs. Patel announced a group project. "We're going to create a model of our solar system. Each group will present their model and explain the planets," she said. Leo was paired with 2 new students, Mia and Ryan. Mia was very creative and loved drawing, while Ryan was good at building things. At their first group meeting, Mia said, "Let's make the planets out of clay and paint them. It'll look so cool." Ryan nodded. "Yeah, and I can build a stand to hold the planets in place." Leo had an idea too. "What if we add some fun facts about each planet, like how Jupiter has a giant storm called the Great Red Spot, or how Saturn has rings made of ice and rock?" Mia and Ryan looked at him, surprised but interested. "That's a great idea, Leo. Let's do it," Mia said. Leo felt a rush of happiness. He had spoken up, and his group had listened. The bully. One day during recess, Leo noticed a new student, Max, sitting alone on a bench. Max looked sad, and Leo remembered how he used to feel when he was afraid to speak up. He walked over to Max. "Hi, I'm Leo. Do you want to play with us?" he asked. Max shook his head. No thanks. I don't think anyone wants to play with me. Leo sat down next to him. Why do you say that? Max sighed. Some kids were making fun of me earlier. They said I'm too quiet and boring. Leo felt a pang of sadness. He knew exactly how Max felt. I used to be really quiet too, he said, but I learned that my voice matters, and so does yours. Don't let anyone make you feel small. Max looked at Leo with hope in his eyes. Really? You think I can be brave like you? Leo smiled. Of course. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And if you ever need help, I'm here for you. Standing up for Max. A few days later, Leo saw the same group of kids teasing Max again. They were laughing and calling him names. Leo felt a surge of anger, but he remembered the wise owl's words. Your voice matters. Use it wisely. He walked over to the group. Stop it, he said firmly. Making fun of someone isn't funny. It's mean. One of the kids, a boy named Tyler, smirked. What are you going to do about it, Leo? Leo stood tall. I'm going to tell the teacher if you don't stop. And I'm going to make sure Max knows he's not alone. Tyler and his friends looked surprised. They didn't expect Leo to stand up to them. After a moment, Tyler shrugged and walked away. Max looked at Leo with gratitude. Thank you, Leo. You're a real friend. Leo smiled. Anytime, Max. Remember, you're not alone. The solar system presentation, the day of the solar system presentation arrived. Leo, Mia, and Ryan had worked hard on their model. They had painted the planets, built a stand, and written fun facts about each one. When it was their turn to present, Leo felt a little nervous, but he took a deep breath and began. Our solar system is amazing. It has 8 planets, and each one is unique. For example, Jupiter is the largest planet and has a giant storm called the Great Red Spot. Mia and Ryan took turns sharing their parts, and the class was impressed. Mrs. Patel smiled and said, Great job, everyone. You've done a wonderful job explaining the solar system. Leo felt proud. He had used his voice to share his ideas, and it had made a difference. Leo will face new challenges and continue to grow as a leader and friend. New words to learn 1. Reassured. Feeling less worried or scared because someone has comforted you. 2. Creative. Having the ability to think of new and original ideas. 3. Gratitude. Feeling thankful for something someone has done. 4. Surge. A sudden strong feeling or increase in something. 5. Unique. Being the only one of its kind. Special. Question for you. 1. Have you ever stood up for someone who was being teased? How did it feel? 2. What would you do if you saw someone sitting alone at recess? 3. Why is it important to include everyone and make them feel welcome? Don't forget to subscribe our channel as we work very for making those best English learning stories for you.